Hey, this is DJ Fafa Khan, episode 71 with the FML podcast. And I'm here with my manager,
Carla Kazzi.
Yeah.
How y'all doing, people?
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Good, good,
Great,
good, good,
great.
good,
We're
good,
happy
good.
to be here.
Are you? You don't
Yeah.
sound happy to be here.
Yeah, it was a long weekend. It was my birthday weekend.
Yes, how did that go actually?
Oh my God, it was lit.
A lot of IG posts, a lot of bottles.
Man. Yeah,
a lot
it was
of clubs.
a lot. It was a lot. It was 4 clubs. When you're in the industry, you
Mhm.
gotta do all the clubs, you know.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Can we swear on this, by the way?
Yes.
Whatever you want.
We gotta do all the clubs that fuck with you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You gotta go through. You gotta represent. You know, it's your birthday weekend, so you have to do like 3-4 days in a row.
Carla, you went to all of them?
She went
no,
to 2.
No. I did
I knew
Thursday
you
night.
wouldn't make all that.
I did Thursday night. I did Friday night.
Yeah.
And those were what clubs did you go to?
Somewhere,
them
which
out.
is my residency Thursdays,
Mhm.
and then Friday we took a venue, like decked it out, got all my friends there. Saturday was People with Kenji. He has me like once or twice a month, and then Sunday Tokyo with Goon Tribe. So it was a long
I fuck
weekend.
with somewhere.
Yeah,
I like it when it's popping.
yeah, it's popping.
Yeah, it was a good.
Thursdays
it
was
a good
good.
turnout.
And
Mhm,
Goon Tribe
Thursday.
always gets Tokyo popping too.
Yeah,
been in a
exactly.
while.
I haven't been in. I was just gonna say I haven't been to Tokyo in a long time, maybe 4 years.
You should pull up. Honestly, they've been running the hip hop scene there for the
Yeah,
longest.
we've been
Yeah.
there
Well,
so
yes.
long.
So
That has been a good hip hop club for at least. I would say
it was our
at least
spot
10
for
years.
so
15
long.
years?
I mean, when we were
Yeah.
younger, I mean, it was our spot on
yeah,
Sundays.
they're
Still
the
is.
longest.
It is
one.
still it's still popping on Sundays. It's still Sundays too.
Last night was nuts. It was
Oh, yeah?
crazy. Yeah. It's cool because you have the old generation by the bar and then the new
Mhm.
generation on the dance floor.
Mm-hmm.
So they really cater to both.
Okay.
Like you have to have the new generation coming in because
Or else you're screwed.
those are the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be going out to the clubs for the next 5-6 years. That's a guarantee. But the
Mhm.
old school people, you know, they're having kids, they're getting married, you know, they're settling down. So you got to bank on
They
the.
can't drink as much.
The new
Did you mix last
generation. No, I was just partying with them. There was 10 DJs. So when it's your birthday,
10 DJs?
with the Goon Tribe gang, they get all these other DJs to come DJ for you. So
Okay.
it's your night off, and
Oh.
like you just celebrate and have a good time.
We gotta get the Goon Tribe on here.
Yeah.
So I apologize, lifers. I don't think we actually said that our guest today is a DJ. One of the
Let's start with that.
you know. A female DJ that's very well known across
Thank
the
you.
city.
I'm gonna say a DJ period. She
Yeah.
holds it down. She holds it down. I'm gonna say a DJ period.
Well, how long have you been DJing for?
This is gonna be my 10th year.
Oh, that's great.
I started when I was 18. It was DJing. Honestly, okay, because not a lot of people know this,
Yeah.
but my friend who owned a restaurant when I was 18 was like, yo, my girl who plays off like an iPod and a laptop is out of town. Can you just come in and like replace her?
Mhm.
So I was like, yeah, for sure. Like I was teaching hip hop dance for 5 years.
She was playing music out
She
of
was-
an iPod.
Yeah,
on a-
iPod and a laptop. Like it was behind the bar bootleg shit. Like it was really like not
Okay.
nothing.
I,
No
I
equipment.
thought that she was doing a good job with
Yeah,
that.
it was, but like I upgraded them
She
to.
was a music
Okay.
curator. at the
Yeah, it
time.
was just very casual. It wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like crazy or whatever. Anyway, I upgraded them to an iPad
All right.
with a DJ app on it. An
Okay.
app.
Were you already
and-
playing with that?
I started off the iPad and laptop. I was like, this doesn't make sense. It's not working.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
I can only.
Oh, so you
fade-
tried the girl's method.
Well, it's all they had.
Okay.
The restaurant, that's all they had.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll try. I tried. I did a few nights with it, and I was like, no, fuck this. Like,
Okay.
I need something more efficient. So I upgraded them to the iPad with a DJ app, and I ripped it on this app. Like, you don't understand. Like, Saturdays on this fucking iPad was lit. Like, the club was jammed. There's a
went
lineup
from
down the
restaurant to
block. Yo, they bottle service. Like, it was fucking crazy.
Where was that?
It was Garde Manger,
Okay.
right across from Santos.
Yeah.
It's still there. It's not a club anymore.
Mhm.
After I left, no, it's not happening. But it was just crazy. So then people saw me do that and they were like, yo, do you actually want to DJ in a club soon? Like in 2 weeks? Like we have a hip hop night. I was like, of course. So I had to learn how to DJ in 2 weeks.
Because you were just
equipment and
pressing play
everything.
and next song and that song.
On the app,
Yeah.
you could actually beat match kind of, but I had to learn on actual equipment in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I got a controller, learned the quickest way possible. DJ Taha taught me basics like techniques, just beat matching and stuff like that. did the gig in 2 weeks, was at Times Supper Club in front of 200
What?
people. Yeah. I was only on the controller for a year because I didn't want to be on that shit. I wanted to upgrade, obviously, to CDJs. So I learned as much as I could, just basics on the controller, and then I learned CDJs. But like my first gigs, I was on this shit in front of like 200-300 people.
At the end of the day, DJing is more about some DJs. There's always this argument about DJing with turntables, DJing with like digitals. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the conversation always leads to it's all about controlling the music and the crowd. It doesn't matter what you're playing on.
It doesn't, but it does, because you do get judged in front of other DJs and people in the music scene. Like you
the OGs
should.
are gonna say like, "Hey, you can't play vinyl."
No, I knew
you know
I wasn't.
I mean? Like,
there was no way I was gonna stay on a controller. No way. I think.
What is a controller exactly?
It's like a mini version of real equipment.
Okay.
On one thing, like just looks like a toy box thing.
A lot of producers use it to, you know, they pretty much.
All right, and when you use that, you knew you were kind of cheating. You felt like you were kind of cheating the game.
I was learning.
You were learning.
I consider that learning.
Okay.
Yo, I'm gonna respect you if you need it at home to practice to learn on, and it's your first year in the DJ game. That's cool. But after a year, you can push it to 2 years after that. But I won't look at you the same if you're still on that after a year or two. Nah, you should not. You should upgrade.
How would you think? What do you think led you to have a big gig like that? Because there are many DJs, like I would say, fairly known DJs across town that would love to be able to have a night at Times Supper Club, let alone like be your second night.
Yeah, 10 years ago it was popping. What led me was just people and promoters would just come to this small restaurant that was crazy like a club, and they were like, okay, we like the vibe, people are popping off, they're buying bottles, like let's try her, even though she doesn't even know. Like it's potential at the end of the day.
A lot of it is networking also, which kind of leads to 100%. Carla.
Yeah.
100% networking.
Tell the people what you do, Carla.
So I'm pretty
what
much
you've been doing.
So I've been in the game for like almost 17 years, I would say. Promoter back in the day, did the door for a lot of clubs, you know, until recently. And my title officially is like a hip hop consultant. So festivals and big companies and you know, I would say like artists and stuff like that kind of come to me for consulting when it comes to putting up a show, the bookings of certain artists, you know, everything that has to do with hip hop. Pretty much that's what I do. And I also have a collective with my partner SAG. We run Noiize. Yep. It's Fafa and this other artist called Marielle. She's a singer. Yeah. So we're all females. It's like a female collective that we're running out of Montreal right now. And be on the lookout because we're working some big ass shit that's coming through.
And they're both actually also like visual artists.
Yeah, 100%. They're all creative. Yeah. We're all creative. We all work together on the same, you know, it's not like a management and then you have the artist under and you know, we're all like kind of a big fam, and you know, we're kind of running it that way because we don't think that in the game at this moment there's anything like us, specifically that's curating more for the hip-hop. I would say the culture a bit more, you know, so that's pretty much and Marie-Ève does like trap pop, which is almost like, you know, it's trappy pop, you know, so we're kind of working on that out of the city and just, you know.
Well, actually, I think it's a great thing because, I mean, for weeks, a lot of listeners have been asking for women to come on the podcast, whether it's to discuss any social topic or
2 days before Women's Day.
Yeah.
And now we got 2 women in the podcast. But Carla, I can't help but to ask, I mean, for a lot of people that were going downtown as youngsters, they used to see you at La Capsule Sportive. I think that was the name of the store, right?
Yeah.
That was like second floor of the Eaton Center.
Yeah.
And
we had 40 stores.
What happened to that store?
Well, my family, the ones that don't know me, my family owned the whole Capsule Sportive chain. We had the Nike shop, we had the Champion shop, we had the shoebox
Nike
as well.
shop? What Nike shop?
The one in Fairview. We were the only one in the city.
Okay.
And unfortunately, we went bankrupt in 2009.
Okay.
So I was kind of left with
the economy crash.
what the hell am I doing at 29-year-old? You know what I mean? I've been doing that since I was 12, you know, buying with my dad and, you know, just going to the States and just like finding new caps and to designs and new sneakers. And I've pretty much dressed up half of Montreal when it came to styling. You know what I mean?
I know. I remember like trying to save $40 to try to buy a hat,
you know,
at that
for
store.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I think we've the two stores we had at the Eden Center, everybody passed by there, like rappers, artists, promoters, DJs, you know. So that's what kind of grew my network very early in the game. And I was also going to LaSalle studying in fashion marketing. So that kind of helped me as a background. But I think like getting in the game at 12-year-old when my dad was like what really helped me to and then, you know, on the side I think Freddie used to come to our parties too. You know, on the side we used to do shoebox. We used to have a little crew. We would do like sneaker parties and with Tutti Flores, and then do it at the W, and then we did at Santos on Monday nights. So we always were like kind of in the culture, kind of bringing the, you know, the hip hop with the sneaker game, when in 2010 it wasn't really like into, you know. So yeah, we kind of brought a lot of people together and stuff like that. So when everything closed, I was like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? And, you know, I took a couple of months. It was really hard on me, but, you know, I was like, fuck, I'm good at this. You know, I know so many people, like, you know, so let me just, and then I started my job at W, and then so on and so forth. And
what were you doing at W? Promoter?
No, I was actually VIP host.
Okay.
I was doing the door. And, you know,
and it was so much better back then.
Yeah, it was great. Those were
Freddie
really
loved to go to the W.
So you know, and also like bringing artists whenever, you know, the after parties, people would call me, hey, like, you know, do you mind like hosting this person or this, you know. So I had kind of a venue too to help do that, which we were doing at Buonanotte as well. And, you know, so it's a relationships that, you know, you build it throughout the city with people that really fuck with you. And that's what we're kind of doing right now. We're a collective as well. You know, I think that now that's where we are. I think now it's like, let's build our own thing. So that's pretty much what it is.
Now, Fafa, you told us how you started DJing with the little tool, the controller. It's the first time I hear the controller for DJ.
It was an iPad, it was a laptop, it was
an
iPad, and then it was the controller, and now it's DJ.
But for you to start to be intrigued to want to do that job, were you inspired by a DJ, some DJ that, you know, you said, I want to do that one day? And
no, I was thrown in. I never ever planned on being a DJ.
Okay.
I actually, before I was a DJ, a year or two before, I'd be going out with my friends partying, and I'd be like, I'd literally look at them and be like, yo, if I had an alter ego, I'd be a DJ. And I said that just as a joke. And the universe just threw it in my face. And anything that ever came to me was brought to me. I never asked for it. I never went like searching, desperate, asking people. Like, it literally came to me, and I just took the opportunities and I just rolled with it. I really just dove into it, and I was like, look, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna try.
Is that something you usually do? Like, whatever you feel like is coming to you, just
I find anything I've ever like gone and asked for and I needed never really came to me. But if I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna work up to it, it came naturally, and I never had to ask for other things. Like they just naturally, laws of attraction to me. So that's how we kind of work. Like even our vibe in our collective, we work like that. So we kind of.
It's funny because it's like a contrast. Whereas everything that came to you took, and you kind of like to reinvent yourself. So it all comes full circle.
It really does. Yeah. It kind of like, as much as, you know, it crushed her for the franchise to shut down, it opened up another door for her to search like, okay, what am I going to do next with all this experience? And like, we take our negatives and just turn them around into like positives. That's it.
So tell our listeners a little bit of your trajectory as a DJ. Like you said at Time Supper Club, that was probably your first paid gig, right?
Yeah, I got paid at the other place.
Oh yeah,
but,
it's true.
But yeah, no shit's free.
Back straight.
No shit's free. But yes, an official club, like, because that was more of a restaurant that turned into a club. As an official club, that was my first club gig. And I even opened up for like Wale, and
wow.
And
he came to Montreal.
Yeah, he came to Montreal and
he performed that time.
He performed that time.
Okay.
And this is the funniest story. So they booked these two, like, I don't know, these two white guys, I don't know, trying to DJ off vinyls to open for him. Something was going wrong. They were fucking playing Beyonce in front of like the hoodest crowd I've ever seen. I was just like, what are they doing? They got kicked off stage. Donald Latour at the time, who was the first DJ I ever DJ'd with, who I have so much love and respect for because he helped me and gave me his entire library to start my music collection. Wow. He was like, get the fuck on stage. Wow. I get on stage, never opened for anyone ever before. I just fucking started ripping it. I was playing all kinds of, I don't know, Meek dropped a bunch of shit at the time, like all this new shit. My friend Nation, shout out, he works for Narite, and the week before he sent me all these like top tracks that were like the hottest at that time right now. So I literally had a crate that said like Nation on it, and I just went into it and just started banging out all these things. Crowd was going fucking nuts. At the time, I think MGK dropped Wild Boy. Okay. So I dropped Wild Boy. Wale comes on like Wild Boy, and the whole crowd's going off. So that was like a memory in my brain that I was like, okay, I can do this. Like, let's bring it to the next level type of shit.
Well, that must have been a real boost, right? Because you like you said, two weirdos on stage putting weird
I don't know what they
on.
were doing. Whack ass. I was just like, yo, this is embarrassing.
And then you have a man telling you like, get the fuck on stage. As a woman, like in a field that's dominated by men, it must have been a real boost.
It was honestly, I had to prove myself in that moment, and it was like a last minute thing. Like, you just got to wing it, but there's no way I was going soft. Like, there's no way. Like, I had 200 people in front of me. I had Wale about to hit the stage. Like, there's no way, but everything kind of lined up properly, and I just banged it out. And yeah.
And do y'all feel like, again, like keeping with what he said, as women in a male dominated industry, do y'all feel sometimes? Well, do you feel disrespect sometimes, or how do you deal with disrespect sometimes? I know. Carla knows how to deal.
I'm like, the ones that know me know how I feel about this. Talk about it all the time. Let them know
what happened.
Actually, I'm curious to hear. So I'm curious to hear both of you guys' opinion on that.
I mean, listen, like now Fafa is getting into the production game, which is a bit of a harder game because there's absolutely almost no girls in the game. So specifically in the trap hip hop, I'm seeing there's a couple of chicks, and they have one or two hits, and then it's hard when you get in there. Like, we were just in Atlanta, we went to a studio, and it's just like 50 dudes like, oh, are they here to what's up, what's good, to entertain us, or no, she's gonna drop some stuff. Oh, Britney Spears? No, she actually drops real shit. Oh, word. Okay. So it's like always.
You're not taken seriously.
100%. It's like the minute you come in, first of all, we're two, like, I'm Arab and she's half Japanese, Finnish, and in like Paki. So it's just like.
I want to touch on that after.
Yeah, we'll get into that after.
So it's like, okay, like what's going on? So, that, and also like when you're around the hip hop culture, it's always like, there's perceptions, and there's, it's profiling, and a lot of, I think as women, you feel it when you come into offices, when they're always trying to school you, or they don't think you're, up to the game. And when she starts mixing, they're like, oh, word. Okay. She's like dope. Okay. But what did you like?
What did you think?
Yeah. Like first of all, they always think she's like a Barbie that I'm like selling to you. Like, oh yeah. Well, if she's good, it's even better. No, like it's just, obviously, like.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of established DJs felt that way towards you when you first started, right?
They still do.
They're hiring her because she looks good. Yeah. I'm pretty sure
I'll be
they
honest,
thought
and I'll
that.
say it.
They still do
till this day, and I still hear it because I've been hearing Fafa mix for years, and from day one we met, we vibed, we were cool. Yeah. And she was actually really good. Until this day, I still hear the same 100%. Bullshit. She only gets gigs because of the way she looks.
100%.
Actually, that was the nature of my question with the Time Supper Club. Like, how do you get something like that on your like second gig?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. They walked into the club and saw the vibe. Like, they knew me before, you know what I mean? But they didn't know what I could mix and how the crowd was reacting to it. If it was a dead night, I don't think I would have gotten it just based on my looks. Like, the night was popping. The lineup was down the block. I couldn't even get my own friends in. So that to me proves a point. You know what I mean? Like, besides the looks. And I also made it also a point when I was coming in this scene, I was like, I'm not gonna dress like a fucking like I don't need my tits out. I don't need any of this shit. Like I dressed like a dude coming into this game. Like I didn't care whatever. But I made sure it was a point that my music's gonna prove me, and these guys are gonna take me somewhat seriously at the beginning. And I surrounded myself around with people who supported me since the beginning. So these types of DJs, not the DJs that kind of like shade you or whatever, think that type of way. Like Donald was really there since the beginning.
Well, speaking of DJs, as you were starting, again, in the field dominated by men, did you find yourself to like have some inspiration from other female DJs?
Actually, Shay was the first, Shay to Kiss. She was the first female DJ I found online, and I listened to her mix and I loved it, and I used that mix as like inspiration. It was more R&B, it was more soul, but like she was the only one I found online at the time. I didn't know.
I can think of,
probably. This was 10 years ago, think about it. So it's like she inspired me, but at the same time I didn't find anyone else. I didn't find many
90% I would say of female DJs in the world are house.
Yeah.
Or EDM.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's the other ones that are a bit more like, you have Vashti in New York, that's, you know, like Orange in LA, like all these girls like Millie Mills Universe.
Does Vashti do like, she does straight hip hop?
It's she does, but she does more old school. She does a lot of corporate too. She does a lot of old school, but she's a bit older now in the game, you know, like obviously. But you know, you have Universe in Toronto that's doing very well, and these are all girls that we you know we fuck with, like all this, you know, whoever's dope in the game right now, we're fucking with as females, you know, like we reach out to them, we book them in Montreal. Like right now, I'm really trying to book as much as I can of like female DJs that are dope, that, you know, relate to us, and like. People ask me, is it easy to book her? Yeah, I'm not going to come here in front and say, hey, you know, it's like, no, you know what? It helps me to sell her the way she looks. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say like, but you know, if we rode only on that, we would never get booked again.
No, exactly. You get booked at one time. But
everybody's able to get booked at one time.
You wouldn't be 10 years in.
You know what I mean? But I wasn't there for 10 years.
I mean.
Yeah, you know what I mean? She's done what she's done before me, but like I've been working with her for like 3 years and a half, and I think we've done so much, you know what I mean? Even for her image, for branding, we have like big companies behind us right now. So it's like, it's a process that has to be constant, and I still have to prove to these companies or brands that, you know, fuck with us. Like we're constant, you know, we're constantly winning. Like that's what we're doing. It's not like I could book her one time and like they're gonna be like, yeah, that was cool, but yeah, we're not
like next
again.
year.
So it's like super easy to book you once, but then if like the word goes out and like, oh, she's just beautiful, like then it's like, and specifically I make a point to her and to everybody, like whenever I get huge companies that I won't name, they're like, hey, she wants to do her Christmas party, this and that. Oh, but we want her to play electro. Have you heard what she plays? Oh yeah, but like, can she? No. Go listen to her SoundCloud, listen to what she does, and then you hit me up. And if it doesn't fit, we're not booked. I don't care how much money you throw at me. This is how we always, you know,
that's
always
actually
function.
a question I had in mind, because like just this weekend we were at a venue. It wasn't a club, but it
was a Fire Center.
It was a Fire Center.
He's like,
no, I was trying to.
You can bleep it.
Describe the type of venue it was, but we were there, and the ambiance. I mean, there were people there, but the music they were playing kind of deaded the ambiance. Like it could have been a way better vibe if they were playing hip hop. Yeah, and I started wondering, like, and Freddie as well, like, why is it that, like, there's no denying this, hip hop is the dominating genre of music out there. Yeah. But at least for the past 15 years, it's been, at least in my mind, number one. Why is it that venues and certain corporations are holding back from attaching themselves to hip hop, would you feel?
Honestly, you'd be surprised. Like
nowadays, obviously, there's more opportunities.
I'll do straight, like, real, like, straight corporate gigs and shit like that. It's super fancy and high end, and then I'll have these chicks coming up like, "Can you play Bodak Yellow?" And I'm like, "Really?" Because people are just like chilling, having cocktails, and they're like, "No, we want it." I'm like, "Okay." So it's. What was your question again? You wanted.
Why is it that corporations and venues,
they kind of avoid it,
like they hold back from playing hip-hop? Mostly they still want that techno, like you were asked, like, you want to play techno or EDM for us?
Honestly, it might just be because of like the lyrics and stuff like that.
No, sometimes it's who's running it.
The older guards.
Who's running it? It's they have an image of what hip hop is. They're disconnected from the streets. They're disconnected from culture. And this is what we're fighting every day, even with the festivals and all that stuff, to really like disconnect that. Because at the end of the day, corporate's corporate. Like, and then you have the streets. And now even in the States, in New York, in Atlanta, Miami, they're trying to, if you see the brands are coming to the streets to get some, you know what to get some. They're getting fed from the streets. They're going to Harlem to find ideas. They're going, you know
Gucci.
what I mean? Yeah, 100%. Like,
Dapper Dan.
but that's been happening forever. But they wouldn't get their props ever.
Nope.
But now it's
they
like
would
it's
never
cool to affiliate.
give them the recognition.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same thing with the clubs. It's like, oh, you know, but we only want like house. There's no problem if that's the way you want to move in your club. That's all good. If you want to play only classic music, like, you know, whatever. But don't like bank on like, oh, we're gonna play hip hop, but we don't want black people in the club or this and that, you know, because that's been going on forever.
That's what they
you
do.
know what I mean? And
I mean, we are all a bit older than Fafa. We're all a bit older than Fafa. So like, obviously, like Saint Laurent, Crescent.
Yeah, and we lived it even more because I mean, and I've done the door for so long. I mean, for 9 years. So you know, it's I think there's a disconnect that's like, I think the gap is getting closer than what it was 10 years ago. But in Quebec, it's an obvious problem.
You and I even had that conversation about that round table that was had about hip hop, and you even mentioned it to me, that I guess that someone mentioned it to you, that there was one black person on that panel.
Yeah,
it's just, I mean, it's not even a black thing. It's just wherever the culture is from. Shouldn't you have someone from that culture representing?
Listen, you know like I mean? You know, like at the end of the day, it's like I don't think like I'm Arab and like I'm very in tune with everything, and just like I don't think that like at this point I don't think it's a question of colors. It's are you going for it or you're not? You know what I mean? If you don't care and if you don't want to go for that job, you don't do it. I don't think it's because you're Haitian or Jamaican or whatever. But at the point, it would be cool to have that, because in Toronto you have that, in New York you have that, and everywhere else you have that. That has to do with, you'll go to a Ciroc party or whatever, and it's all the reps are all black in the States. You know what I mean? Like here, it's really not.
Oh my god!
You know what I mean? And it also goes with the culture here. It's, you know, it's very much like nothing on the radios. They don't put anything on TVs. It's like it's as if it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like you listen to the radio. Hip hop doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
And but yet like everybody only listens to that.
Only.
But like what's your thinking behind it? I don't know. I would have to sit down with these guys and just,
I think to me I've always said it's because they don't want to create the market for it, take the chance to create the market for it.
They also don't want to attach themselves to so much blackness.
Forget black and white. Well, you can't forget a black and white.
But you have white rappers. You have
white rappers. And those white rappers, if they're just okay, will be promoted and will just be exposed to us as if they're great. While if a black rapper is good, he'll just be okay. You have to be better than good 100%. For you to get that recognition. 100%. It's just unfair. But like, and I would never ever say anything bad about Eminem, but Eminem is as big as he is because he is white. I mean, he would still be great. Let's not say anything. I'm not saying anything negative, but he wouldn't be the biggest rap superstar ever if he was black.
But I think it's the same thing with Drake. For me, I feel the same thing. And a lot of people get mad at me. They're like, oh, you're not saying. I'm like, no, I never said the guy wasn't dope. I'm just saying that he goes and reaches the people from Westmount, the people from the West Island, the people that are like kind of like, oh, Migos are good, but I don't want to like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's Drake is like safe. He's a safe
It's a numbers game also. Like, it's a numbers game also. Like at the end of the day, if like you said, if the safe guy comes in and obviously he's talented, the majority of people are still white. Regardless,
of course, who goes to the shows, man? Like check the stats of who goes to shows.
Just like I was having a conversation with him yesterday.
That's true, because we don't go
at the Bell Center. There was this Saturday. There was what's his face, Romeo Santo. 15,000. Those 15,000 people in there weren't all Hispanic people.
No,
they weren't. No. It's because reggaeton and bachata and all that stuff 100%, has crossed over. 100%. And it's a numbers game at the end of the day. It's really a number. Just like we were talking about that Monique shit. If you cross over, you make those numbers, they'll fuck with you. Yeah. But at the end of the day, again, what I was getting to is in Quebec, nobody wants to take that risk to create that market. It's there for their taking. There's shows, there's there's festivals, there's everything, but everything else they don't want to take the risk to do it.
Yeah. But yet again, she created the hip hop stage at Igloo Fest, and it was sold out.
It was sold out. There you go.
So it's like we're really pushing it to get there, and especially here. And even though it's like a village or whatever, you got to start somewhere. And I think it's just it can't go backwards. At this point, it's only gonna get bigger. So yes, we're talking about now. Maybe we're complaining now, but I think it's on its way. You know what I mean?
While we're speaking of culture, and she actually mentioned it as well earlier, I can't help but to notice, like, you probably have a certain mixture within your genetics. So can you tell our
within your genetics? God damn,
Lord, even I'm confused. Yeah, so I am. This is the number one question I get asked. What am I? I am Pakistani, Japanese, and Finnish. My mother is full Pakistani, and my dad is half Japanese, half Finnish. So,
Finnish is from Finland?
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever heard Finnish.
Next to Norway. Okay. North European, I guess.
No, I mean Finnish for Finland. Yeah. I never heard what they were called.
Yeah, they're called Finnish.
Yeah, they're Finnish. Yeah. I didn't know that. Because, hockey, there's a whole bunch of people from Finland. Yeah, I think Saku Koivu was from Finland, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So I never heard Finnish. But another thing I wanted to ask, Japanese.
Yes.
Why is it, at least that's the way I feel, because I never, ever met someone that told me I'm Japanese. You're half. So I almost want to say, like, you don't count in my mind.
I'm actually only a quarter.
I never met someone that says I'm Japanese in Montreal myself. Really? Never. And am I wrong by thinking there's much less of them than the rest of the Asian countries here?
Yeah. There's very much less of them, but I actually have like straight cousins that are pure. So they're pure. They're pure blood, Japanese. Pure breeds. Like born here, but they're still pure. Like both their parents Japanese. But yeah, the community is a lot smaller, I find, here than anywhere else.
Is it that they don't need to immigrate because
everything is okay? They're all in Vancouver.
In Vancouver,
yeah.
Okay.
They're all in
I know there's a lot of Asian people in Vancouver.
Yeah, they go to the English parts of even in Toronto.
It's easier for them, I guess. But they're all over there.
I mean, for the past 15 years, I've always said that to myself.
Like, said it on the podcast before.
I never met a Japanese person in my life.
There you go.
Oh, he's tripping out.
Unicorn.
Halfway. Bucket list. I brought a bit today, but fuck. Yeah.
Now, I'd like to ask you, how do you feel about celebrity DJs?
Okay, if you're gonna talk about
Snoop Dogg being a DJ, Shaq being a DJ.
Oh my god, I actually DJ'd with Shaq in Punta
Cana.
Have
you?
Yeah,
I'm actually curious to hear about that.
He was using a controller too, but
wow, I don't doubt it.
You know what? If I heard Lil Jon's been DJing recently, he's actually amazing.
For a while though, he's been doing it for a while.
He's been doing it, and he doesn't even promote it, say whatever, but he's been killing it in the Vegas scene. I respect that. If you're using it to just because your career is washed up and you don't know whatever else the fuck to do after, and you're trying to be something, like, I don't really respect it as much. Like, I still can't take Paris Hilton seriously. I can't. Even though she's killing it, got residencies, but I still can't take her.
But you know why she got residencies? For the same reasons as you. No, I'm just joking.
No, my God. Yo, if I dressed like her, and I don't know, it would have been a totally different story or outcome.
But she has her style. She does Ibiza.
She has her branding. She has her. I can't disrespect the money she's making. I can't disrespect it.
But is she actually DJing though?
I mean, yeah, but it's like.
Tell me she's using a controller too.
It's like it's a controller. It's a playlist. You know what I mean? It's set. Someone probably told her play this, play that. I don't know. I'm just assuming, but at the same time, like, I can't hate on the numbers, the money she's making, and her image and her branding. She fucking kills it in that. But as a respected DJ, no.
You can never hate on the hustle, but you can hate on the craft.
She has so many people behind her, though, to market all of that.
Yeah, like
you don't need to be.
It's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea.
If you can't make money with Paris Hilton, you're shitty.
Change job. Yeah, straight up. Like,
look, even DJ Khaled can't actually really DJ, but like he was
a radio DJ.
He was a radio DJ.
No, but he mixes.
He's more of an MC. He's more entertainment. Like, I respect him way more. I respect him 100%. And he produces and he does all this shit. He's positive. Like, I respect. Yes. Other celebrity DJs. it depends how you came up. It really does. Honestly, like I really kind of like look at the history and how these people kind of came about and came up, because it's a little, you already are a celebrity, already you have a kind of advantage on top of these other guys that have been grinding for like 20 years. So,
but what do you feel about a celebrity DJ that is already established, that has a name, and that decides, well, shit, I like, this seems cool, and I like to play music, so let me just get some gigs and go to Vegas even. And
Solange is doing that. Solange
a lot of
Alicia
celebrities
Keys
are
did that for a
doing
minute
it.
too,
Because
like-
at the end of the day, they're not DJs. They're more, again, curators than DJs.
Yeah, Idris
Yeah.
Elba was a DJ
Yeah.
too
They're
before.
celebrities.
But he was actually
He's a DJ
an
before.
actual
Yeah.
DJ before
Yeah.
acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually raps too and does music,
yeah.
like production and all of that. Like
he
he's
raps?
serious about it. I don't know
Yeah.
how good he is,
Yeah.
but he's serious about it. Just like Terrence Howard, let's say.
Mhm.
Terrence Howard, what people were saying he wasn't so good, but he was serious about his music. So that could be something. But I just can't help but think like some celebrities,
it's
they're
subjective.
trying
Yeah.
to make money. Like Paris
Yeah.
Hilton, that's a hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like-
if it's a fade and it
Yeah.
goes away, it's
She's been
nothing.
doing it for
It's
a
like
minute,
a-
though.
No, her,
Exactly.
yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about other people around her. You could see like it's a fade, like it fades out. It's like you're gonna get booked for 2 years nonstop, and then people are just gonna be okay. Next celebrity.
So is that
So
what Kim K
doesn't-
gonna do in 15 years?
No,
Nah,
I
I
don't
don't think so, bro.
She can't even.
I think someone like Kim K figured out how to stay famous and relevant, whereas Paris, I think the
Yo,
whole
Paris
DJing
was
thing
the
was
OG.
like the whole DJing thing. She was trying to find something to
do.
To
She
do,
says she
yeah.
likes it, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Of course, I mean, what's not
The
to like? You're playing
attention,
music
yeah,
and you
it's
get all the
crazy.
attention.
and she's
you know?
mad nice too. I mean, Fafa
Yeah.
like opened for her
Yeah?
at Beach Club.
At Beach Club?
Yeah,
super
yeah.
nice, humble.
Oh,
like
she came to Montreal, the
Yeah,
Beach Club?
she-
Yeah,
Papa played
I
for
opened
her,
for
yeah.
her. Yeah.
so like
And did she play well? Did she play good?
Look, she got the crowd going. She plays, her playlist.
if you play
but
bangers, I mean,
it's
Beach
EDM
Club,
though.
Beach Club
Yeah.
It's
isn't the
like,
place to judge a DJ.
But
Yeah.
at the end of
Exactly.
the day, are we looking at that's what I always tell people. There's like technical DJs
Mhm.
and then you have show DJs.
Mhm.
Are we like judging them on techniques? The guys that do Red Bull Academy and they're like mixes and they're scratching.
No,
and like we're
no.
not doing that. But then you have the show DJs that like the David Guettas and all
they
these
sell
guys.
tickets.
So the thing is like, are these technical DJs getting booked there? No, they're not. They're underground, like basement, like like they do battles like
But
in
the-
China and like you know what I mean.
I don't like.
But people are comparing both sometimes, and it's like no.
So we've been clubbing for a while, right? And we've gone to different type of parties, different type of DJ, different type of music, and I've never looked for a scratching DJ in my life.
Mhm.
But what I look for is what music are you playing? How's the crowd reacting to your music?
Mhm.
Your blends,
Your
like, are
blends,
you-
yes.
do you know what's- how to?
One thing I hate personally is a lot that DJs do is when they mix instrumentals with vocals, like different. I hate that shit.
Mm.
And some DJs, like a lot of people don't like certain things that DJs do and they don't realize it.
Yeah.
And to me that's what makes a great DJ. And
For the longest, I
and-
didn't realize it. Like I would go out to clubs and not give.
He's
a
just
damn
lit the
about
whole
who's
time.
DJing.
He was
Like
drunk
I
the
would
whole
never
time.
think about who's mixing tonight.
Yeah.
The first time I heard someone steadily asking me that was when I got with my girl. Like she would steadily ask, "Who's mixing?" I was like, "Yo, who gives a fuck?" Like, yo, I didn't care about that.
No,
Over
but
time, I
Freddie
realized that it
always
matters,
did.
right?
Freddie always
But
did.
Of course.
as a young person, I was like, "Yo, I'm just going there for the scenery. I want to see
Yeah.
people. I don't give a fuck who's mixing."
Yeah.
Like, but
yeah.
as I grew older, I realized that it does matter because
It
I've
changes,
encountered
yeah.
some DJs that are really whack,
Yeah.
and it
fucks
messes
your
up a
vibe.
night.
It fucks up your vibe.
It
Like if
really
you're coming
messes
in
up
and
a
you're
night.
like, "Yo, what the hell's going on?" Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna get into he blended that way. No,
No.
but we're still. But why did you?
I mean,
play this
sometimes
song at-
DJs does
you know?
certain scratching, like shit, you didn't expect that, but I don't expect you to do it the whole night.
No, no. 100%,
No, you
like-
got to be tasteful with it. You got to do like a bit of half because if it's too much, you lose the crowd. You can lose the crowd in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's the problem, especially with hip hop. Hip hop, you got 30 seconds to figure out what the fuck you're gonna play
That's
next.
why it's the
Figure out
hardest.
how to bring it in.
Right now
Figure out
it's
how
the
to present
hardest.
it.
This
It's-
moment is the hardest.
Hip hop is the hardest thing to DJ. That's why a lot of female DJs are house DJs because it's really fucking easy. I could teach you guys how to play house in an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't teach you guys how to play hip hop. I can't. You gotta grow up with hip hop. You
Mhm.
gotta literally live through it to be able to play it now. If you don't know it from the beginning, I can't teach you.
That's
I literally
real.
can't teach you.
Like
No.
somebody like Paris Hilton would never play flip side. Like
Yeah, like I can't teach her. Like,
you can't
by the
teach her,
way,
you need that moment to play this specific song. You know what I mean? Yeah,
like I can't. You have to have already been in it for you to be able to play it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like someone asked me, like, "Oh, what do you think about the DJs coming out now in the game?" I'm like the younger, generation coming up trying to be DJs, and I'm like, they're good for their people, their age, but if they don't know their old shit, like I don't know how long they're gonna last.
Exactly the conversation we were having in a previous podcast. This guy was telling us this 23-year-old DJ didn't know what "If I Ruled the World" was. Was that the song? And I was like, you don't have to play it in the club, but you have to know what the song is.
You just have to know a little bit, just because a lot of songs now reference back to them. So it's like it's like when Missy Elliott did the Super Bowl, half the kids didn't know they thought she was a new artist. I was like, that's a fucking shame and a half. Like all of y'all be fucking shamed.
It's a singles world now. You know, if you're hot for a hot second, you have three songs that I like. I listen to those 3 songs and on to the next artist.
But people don't care about. If you don't know that shit, like I can't teach you. I could teach you house. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like fuck it. But if you don't know your history of house, it's not the end of the world. But if you don't know,
beat, though.
Yeah, it's all kind of the same. Like I don't want to hate, but like fuck, if you don't know your history of house, it's literally you could still have a full career and like make bank off of it. If you don't really know your history of hip hop, like fuck, it's a long road.
That was my argument the whole time. You can't be a DJ and not know your history of hip hop. And again, you don't have to play it in certain nights. But like you said, let's say for example, the same song we're talking about, "If I Ruled the World," somebody does a remix. At some point, you're gonna have to play the original just to blend into the remix.
Yeah,
that's
something.
That's 101.
Anything. I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm a fucking expert, but I grew up listening to it naturally.
Yeah,
like naturally, I would go home, LimeWire that shit, and get the most recent shit. I try, and when YouTube came out, I was on those videos like no other because I was a choreographer, so I was on every dance video. I was like watching, looking, analyzing. So it's like, if you didn't grow up doing all that, I don't know what to do.
Shit, she just said choreography, and outside of Chris Brown today, nobody really dances in their videos no more.
Beyonce does.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
the more.
See, now she does.
But back in the day, everybody was like
Tiana Taylor, if she ever decides to do something. Tiana Taylor, if she ever decides to do something.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I wish she did, honestly.
You guys both like. I mean, hip hop is like a really young sport. It's a really young genre. And as you're growing, both of you have been in the club, been in music, been into the business. How do you like stay relevant or stay young with the crowd?
Oof, it's hard, man.
Yeah, because
I have no choice because that's my everyday job.
Yeah.
I have to talk to corporate. I have to explain why this guy's gonna sell and who's the next upcoming guy in like 2 years and a year. Like, when I get asked, from agencies, I have to answer that. I can't be like, oh yeah, like. So you kind of always have to keep up with the next and next and next. You know what I mean? Like Double XL freshman 2019. Like you gotta be like, you gotta be on top of your game, or else like the next dude is coming for you. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't think age is, is, as long as your mind is always in it. And, obviously like you can't be that bitter OG that's like, oh my God, these new kids. Like you can't think like that because I'm out of a job. You know what I mean? Because we're not booking Nas, we're not booking Ja Rule. Like, I mean, as much as, we lived through that, period of time and we danced to it and all this stuff. I respect those guys, but right now that's not what's popping. And you got to stay in tune in what's popping because the festivals are booking those guys and concerts every month. We're trying to have as much as hip hop as we can, and we're adding so much hip hop this year to the festivals. We're really working hard for that to go against Toronto.
I want my media pass.
We're pushing.
But so it's like like you got Toronto that's always in your ear, and like Montreal's like rappers are like, do I go to OVO Fest or do I go to Montreal? You know what I mean? Like so it's kind of like always a battle, but like we're always like working super hard. Ivanko's really, really trying hard to like, stay on top.
I'll give him that much.
Yeah. We're like, they're killing it. And,
you
like
work with Ivanko as well?
Yeah, I've been with Ivanko for 7 years. I've been a consultant for them.
Well, I'd like to ask you, because you have participated in booking artists to come in the city. What would you say was your proudest event that you've thrown, or proudest concert that you've participated in?
Fuck, you did so many.
I don't know.
Yeah, there must be one that sticks out though.
I mean, honestly, like the last project we did for Igloo, I think was, you know, like
that was a moment.
It was like, for me, it's like, I mean, the people from Igloo are so dope, and it's like, you know, like the fact that they gave me a chance to like even, you know, like kind of, you know, bring this idea together, and we kind of like did this together, even if it was like almost 2,000 people. It was to bring the people in the cold was already like
hard enough,
something, you know, like. So when I saw all my immigrants out, I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
and they've never been to Igloo Fest. This was their first
time. A lot of people have never been.
Fucking crazy.
I've gone not many times, but I've gone.
The first year, I've been to Igloo Fest a few times.
My girl goes every year.
I didn't go this year actually, but even if they don't play hip hop, it's a hip hop influenced event.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was no hip hop I mean, there was no hip hop stage before this moment.
Yeah. No. But they brought Just Blaze, you know, and all these guys, but it was like part of, you know, RL Grime and all these guys.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like a specific, you know, and
it wasn't labeled hip hop.
I think it was time for Montreal to have that, and I think it's a dope as festival, like a winter festival. You could eventually like sell it to Toronto, sell it to New York. Hey guys, you want to come? You know, all those snowboarders and, you know, a lot of rappers do that. So it's like they were like, you know, it was like I think it was a fresh thing to do, and you know, a lot of people came out, man, and honestly showed a lot of love. So. We'll see, you know, but obviously there's like so many shows I can't even think about, but you know, everybody knows my favorite rapper is Kanye, so that's
yeah,
I live by Kanye. So
have you ever participated in him coming to the Bell Center? Where the event go?
Well, I do the street marketing for them, so whenever I don't whatever, it's like street marketing that I do, I
when you say street marketing, what in 2018, what does that mean?
Well,
because obviously it's not the same thing as before.
It's like pretty much like everything that has to do with the culture on the street, to bring that show to the streets. You know, they're going to do more the corporate side, the radios and all that stuff. I'll do more the blogging, the influencers, the Instagrams,
the DJs.
Because there's no more flyers these days.
No, we never. No. I mean, we've used them a lot. I mean, it's obviously lately it's not really, you know, relevant, but yeah, that's kind of like my job is like to bring the word to the street, like to who's going to buy the ticket. Like if you didn't hear it because like you're not, you know, listening
in the
or whatever,
corporate
I have to kind of do the bridge between both, you know what I mean? So once the show's booked, I get the contract for the street marketing, and then I, you know, distribute the way it has to be, and then we sell out the show. So
now for you, Fafa, I'd like to ask, we've mentioned a lot of celebrities that you've opened for, Shaq, Paris Hilton, and Wale. What is it for you? Is it
those aren't even my best ones.
No, I figured that
those are like not even. I don't actually never mention them.
Actually, that's where I was gonna go and ask you what was probably your proudest moment, your proudest DJ moment.
Well, ASAP Ferg, we know their crew very well from New York, so I always want to shout them out. TJ Meisel is their DJ, and we're very close, so I have worked with them before. We've had a lot of celebrities at Buena, which I had to DJ for. Justin Bieber, J. Cole, we hosted. Timbaland, which was a proud moment for me because I grew up listening to him and Missy and all, you know, all that type of stuff.
So Missy is not a new artist to you?
Oh yeah, no. Missy was my first real crazy influence in the dance community, in the production, in the rap game, in the female rap game, and just being not like sexy. She was like more, you know, she was a heavier girl. She was just showing her work, and her work proved it. And she didn't need to be, you know, the Aaliyah. You know, she didn't need to be. She just was her.
Ciara.
You know, Ciara. She was just her, and I loved her for that. And she killed it. She honestly killed it. So that to me she was one of my biggest influences, just growing up. So yeah, no, I've who else have I opened for? Oh, Sean Paul when he did his tour here.
At
Beach Club
and Olympia.
Yeah, she did.
Olympia,
too.
Olympia.
But she opened for Ferg in
New York, in Brooklyn. Yeah, that was fun
for that party that they did.
I also read that you do production.
Yes.
Known or unknown. Can you tell our audience some of the artists that you've worked with?
Oh, I haven't worked with artists. I literally just learned production in the past year, and I've been working on my own original beats. So It's always been in me. I just didn't know how to go about it. And then Carla pushed me, learn production, work with a producer, whatever. Just the technical part, just to know how to use the program and stuff like that. And I managed to pump out like 20 beats, and I haven't released them. I'm just sitting on them. I'm waiting for the right moment, because it's just time. It's all timing.
I'm actually curious about production, because I have some friends that do music. And when it comes to producers, you said that you have beats, and I'm assuming that you'd like to shop them around and have artists rap to them.
100%.
How does that game work? Because I've realized that a lot of producers just put their beats online
and
for
hope.
people to use.
Yeah.
Obviously, they put certain tags on them.
Yeah.
And the person uses the track, and if the person wants to make money with the music, then they contact the producer to pay the producer.
Yeah.
I think that's crazy.
95%
You should be
of the time these guys don't get paid.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, you shouldn't be in contact with my beat unless I get my money.
But that's why I haven't dropped anything.
But at the same time, you're in a position where you can do that. You know what I mean? Because you have so many other things going. If let's say she's a Joe Blow nobody, how else are you gonna get it out there?
Yeah,
I understand, but what I'm saying is, how can I guarantee that I'll get my money from the artist that uses it?
No, you can't guarantee, but
no
it's a stroke of luck. But there's nothing else you can do, though.
Birdman's still dealing with heavy dudes. Like Bangladesh didn't get paid. Like,
but that's actually like, he contacted Bangladesh for a beat and he didn't pay him. I'm talking.
But imagine that at
if
that
it's happening,
that
if it's happening at that
didn't
level,
get paid. Imagine like Joe Blow that is in his basement,
behind a computer. You don't have a choice though, because it's not like you have a big voice and you can put your music out there and 1,000 people are gonna listen to it. Chances are 100 people won't hear your beat.
The production game is really like you dangle your beat, and then whatever fish catches, and you're hoping that it's a big fish. If not, it could be a up and coming guy. You know what I mean? An up and coming guy that's opening for certain people, which there's some stuff that we're doing in New York as well. Like guys that are going to be probably next year popping. You know what I mean? You're hoping to maybe blow with that guy, or you want to go with a guy like that's already very well established, and his team is serious, and but us, it's also because of our network. You know what I mean? Like we could protect her as much as we can, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like,
could be copped. Yeah,
you could get ripped at every moment. It's just
reproduced and
100%. So it's like you have no guarantee. Like,
man, I think that shit is such bullshit, man.
Because you know how many people are producing? Like, go on SoundCloud, man. Like little 16-year-old
all you have to do is write
Texas,
Drake type beats, or like anyone type beats, Nipsey Hussle type beats. You have a whole bunch of beats that just appear online.
Kendrick's producer did it on his phone.
Yeah,
I mean, he did his biggest beats on his phone. Like, yeah. Like Kendrick's beats, Lamar. Like the last producer. Like, he did everything on his phone. He didn't even.
He made the beat off of his phone.
Yeah. Read about it. You'll see.
There's an article.
And Kendrick saw that beat online.
No, he brought him like he's this boy.
That was his friend.
But he did it on his phone. Like
that's still crazy.
You do it in the bus while you're. You know what I mean?
5 years from now, a whole bunch of kids in high school are gonna be making beats that way.
They are already. Yeah.
I mean, they're already doing it, but now they're gonna be. Soulja Boy was like, he's in some type of way.
He's ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time.
Exactly, right?
100%.
He was. Man, he was a leader of a generation. Yeah. And right now, a lot of kids are gonna, just become great producers.
I think that's where the whole SoundCloud artist comes from. Guys like
technology, man, is helping these kids. They can become legends off of their phones. Like you make two good beats. Like, let's say the guy that made "I Got 5 on It," or any other beat, like I don't know, Still Dre. Let's say someone makes two beats like
Dre?
that. No.
Actually, that was.
But what I'm saying,
face white dude. I can't remember
That's
his name.
Dre.
No,
what's his name? It's a big time producer, man. White dude.
White guy.
Oh, 40.
No. It's from Miami.
Scott Storch.
Scott Storch. Yeah, he made it. Still Dre, I think.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, if one producer makes two beats like that off his phone, that's a career that you made off of your phone right there.
If you're lucky, if you get paid.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's 1 in a million chance. It's less probability than winning the lottery. So it's like,
I mean, that's the game for anything artistic that you get into. Everybody can make this painting right here. Like, this guy probably didn't make $30 off it, but it's everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but I think the most important thing that people don't get is like, it is a fast food you know, like business, whatever. But yeah, we could do like, you could do tomorrow morning like 2 beats, but then you disappear. Boop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how are you staying constant? And a lot of people, that's where everybody struggles, is how to stay constant in
Not
the game.
us.
You know
Episode
what I mean?
71.
Yeah.
How do you stay constant in this game? And
Yeah.
that's the number one, I think, formula that people didn't get. Like,
Completely
how do I
agree.
get a one hit? Okay, yeah, you can. Everybody can do a one hit. I can do it in my basement and release it tomorrow. Okay, great. And then what? And then you fade away to the next guy. But how do you stay in people's faces? That's something that people are still trying to figure out. And maybe like the new generation is too lazy. They're just like, oh, let me just like do it quick. And like, but you know, 5 years from now, you're broke again. So
But
it's like,
they've figured it out, but in a less respectable way. Like
it's
younger
overnight
kids do
internet
crazy
success.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Boom Gang. Like he's an artist now, and he's probably gonna get two or three big songs, and then
like Catch Me Outside, bitch. Is one too.
But
yeah, but how relevant is she gonna be in 2 years? You know what I mean? Yeah, you
she's
could get a
most
deal.
likely not gonna be one.
I don't even know.
But
if
she
she's
got
gonna-
like
that's what I'm
an
saying.
official deal. I think it was Atlantic or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's what they do. They sign.
They
reality
signed you to a single
stars
deal.
and
Yeah.
They sign reality stars and like internet stars. That's what they do actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Atlantic.
Yeah.
Well, now that's
That's their
Well,
game.
actually, speaking of artists that may not last, right? And I think this question may a lot of questions that I've asked may have led to this question. Imagery in hip hop, right? Artists like Tekashi 6ix9ine, right?
Yeah.
An artist that has songs that are decently hot. I mean, he had 3, I would say, bangers in the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And in New York was getting a lot of love. But the imagery in his videos is somewhat contradictory because he's saying he's not a blood, but in his videos is only red bandanas, like tattoos all across his face. And his lyrics, obviously, that's not new, but are very controversial. And the reason I said a lot of the questions I've asked may lead to this one. Earlier, I asked why some venues or some corporations like hold back from playing hip hop.
Yeah.
How do you feel about artists that will only last 2 seconds in the game, but coming in a game showing some very negative images of the life that is hip hop?
Well, I mean, like, look, people in the club don't necessarily, like, half of them know what's up. The other half do not know what's up.
No idea.
Most people don't care, actually.
Most people
Never been to
don't
the hood in
care.
their life.
Never, but
never will.
but they got 9 to 5 jobs. They want to blow off steam at the club. They want to guarantee a good fucking night, and their song that they work out to or whatever the fuck is Tekashi 6ix9ine, and they want to hear it, and it's fight music and it sells bottles. Like, at the end of the day, that's the result, and the vibe it gives off is, I want to get fucked up. That's the vibe it gives off. So you all, as a DJ, that's all you're thinking about is vibe. Are these people popping off to this vibe? So yes, I'm gonna play some of those tracks if that's the vibe. So the politics and the imagery behind it doesn't necessarily come to play in the clubs.
No.
It comes to play outside of the clubs where, okay, do you rap with this gang, that, whatever. But in the club, in that moment, you're not thinking about any of that shit. Unless I'm like, guest DJing in a city that maybe if I'm in Toronto, maybe I won't drop that much Meek Mill. Maybe I won't drop, I don't know, like I'll be in, ATL. They don't really play that much Drake. You know what I mean? Like,
that's funny. I've never thought
I'll
of
think
that.
about those things because, there's actual people in the club that, are part of these street things. So I'm going to take that into consideration. If I'm in a commercial fucking place that no one gives a shit and everyone just wants to have a good time, like, I'm not really going to think about the politics behind it.
It's funny that you're saying that because if anyone Googles your name and goes to Google Images, that person may see that you DJ that music quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're
Yeah.
mixing at a club like that, where a lot of Highlands has happened in the past 5 years, do you consider what you're playing or not?
No, now it's not like that though. It's all just tourists.
Now at music,
yeah, it's all tourists.
Up until last year, there was still action going on there.
There's a hip hop room, and she plays the main room.
I play in the main room. So the main room is actually more of a house EDM room. But when they book me in the main room, I play hip hop and all kinds. So it's a lot more like
But
Toronto
the hip hop crowd still goes
tourists.
to the back.
Toronto, they've kind of locked. They've been a bit more selective, I guess, with who they let in. But
I'm assuming
nothing's. Yeah,
I'm surprised that club is still open. To be honest,
I know they've been running for a while.
Yeah.
But you know what? They still kill it. They still have a lineup down the block. I can't say anything about it. And they've been booking me for years now. So now the crowd is completely different, though.
But what about you, Carla? Like, how do you deal with I guess with the years and people and with what how do you deal with when you were a VIP? What was the position called? VIP?
Yeah, VIP host.
VIP host. How did you deal with certain people that you knew could bring trouble and others that didn't? How do you?
Oh, she's queen at monitoring these people.
Juggle that?
Whoever has encountered me throughout the years, no. I mean, don't bring me no gangs, and I know all the guys. Mad respect to everyone. Just it's still my job to do that, and that's I think what's part of being a good VIP host is actually be able to pick and choose who's gonna do the ambiance in your club, because at the end of the day you're responsible if there's too many girls, too many Arabs, too many blacks, too many whites, you have to kind of put a little bit of everything to make a good blend out of it. You understand what I mean? And if there's too much of everything, it's like, then you got to really choose who you let in. And obviously there's a lot of people that, come in angry at the door. At the end of the day, like, you don't know what that person went through before they got to the club. They could have got into a fight with their girlfriend. They could have got into an accident before. And then they show up in front of you and they're giving you attitude and you're like, okay, buddy, like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, you need to wait. What do you mean I gotta wait? But it's every person. It's really, after all these years, you got to know how to read the person in front of you. And if the person's already hot outside, do you imagine what he's going to do inside if you drop a drink? So you have to kind of all see that when you meet a person at the door. Like, do I need this person inside right now? Like, they're already lit outside. They're already drunk. They're already high. They're already fighting in the lineup. So that's just, you're going to get him out in like 3 seconds.
And they hate hearing Fred, you can come in.
Yeah. So, so it's really about choosing who is properly, but I really did want to come back to that conversation about Tekashi 6ix9ine. And pretty much like a guy like that, like now I think the festivals and the corporate are really asking themselves. They just canceled him at All Star.
I would.
They just canceled him in another festival.
Where did they cancel him?
All Star.
Oh, yeah?
All-Star Weekend.
All-Star Weekend? He was supposed to perform?
He was supposed to perform at some club, and they so many Bloods over there. And, right now his affiliation with the gangs are going to be his downfall. And I really believe that. And, a situation like, when Waka came out, they were blooded out and all the, but it's Atlanta, Brooklyn. You're coming from Brooklyn, you come from Bushwick, it's kind of different vibe. In New York, it's not vibing that way like that. When Jim Jones was all blooded out, it was cool back then with Jim Jones. He would run up to Miami with like 65 Bloods in a bus, you know what I mean? And Jimmy's there. But that was like Dipset era. But now in 2018, people are not trying to like, you got to kind of please and feed a little bit the corporate, because it's going to be hard to sell that guy as an agency, I think. And he rolls with a huge gang. Half of these guys probably have, criminal records that they can cross the border. So that's, killing you for like Toronto. It's killing you for Vancouver. It's killing you for Ottawa, for Montreal, and so on. So I think that's this type of thing. I mean, there's 52 states in the States, and he says he travels to Germany and all that stuff. Okay, good for you. But I mean, for us here, I don't know if it's, it's like the game there. Everybody's still scared of booking him, and he's like disconnected kind of, there's a lot of guys are like rocking it, whatever. But at the end of the day, like, what kind of violence is it bringing? What kind of dudes? Remember when like the cops shut down the Bell Center when Lil Wayne was coming, or it's all gang related, because who's showing up to these shows? Like, who's coming to show love to this guy? A couple of hipsters for sure, because they're the ones listening to it. But he's rocking the bandana on the mic when he's talking. Like, that's who you're repping, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like Billy 6ix9ine. Like, so it's a Cardi B passes a bit better because it's a chick. Yeah, you're kind of like, okay, she's cute. You know what I mean? But him is like, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
there are more bandanas in the videos than anything else.
Yeah, but yet he says that he brings the gangs together. But I'm like, how are you doing that?
How do you do that?
Besides going to neighborhoods where you're gonna get shot
every week, there's a video of you getting into an encounter with someone on the street.
He kind of does brings the gangs together, but gangs in his own neighborhood. Other than that, you can't go to another city and expect.
Oh no. LA, it's gonna be waiting for you. Atlanta's gonna be waiting for. Like, I mean, you can't. This is a dangerous game that he's playing, I think, and you know. I don't see how corporate's gonna bite this. Like, they're gonna bite him because he has good hits in the club, but that as
because he's hot right now.
Like, who's putting their hands on that? Like,
even like guys that were, I guess you could say, in the street that are corporate now don't want to fuck with it. And even I watched his interview with what's his name,
DJ
Fat Joe. And Joe was telling me, yo, you need to quit that shit, bro. I was doing this, and I wasn't even blood or crip. I was just doing that.
100%.
And now, 20 years later, I'm telling you, you got to quit that shit. And you're just like
yeah,
he's not going to last. He's not going to last.
But you already know that. So it's like, it's right now, he's only going to get the money he could get as quick as he can. And before he gets arrested or whatever the hell's going to happen. Because we all know the ending of the story.
Yeah.
But like, because it happened to, you know, the 20 last dudes from New York.
Bobby Shmurda.
Like these dudes. And he wasn't even repping it. Like this guy's like literally in your face with guns and stuff. So this is like, you're like, this is what you're repping, dude. Like even Waka's like being like, oh, you know, like we're not doing that anymore. Like
Waka's
the guys are
doing
growing
EDM.
up. Yeah, the guys are growing up. They're understanding the corporate game.
Smart, bro.
Yeah, because who's booking corporate?
Yeah.
Who's booking corporate?
He wanted to study geometry though.
Oh my god. But yeah, so you know, I think it's perception. Like, yeah, it's cool right now, the Little Xan and Lil Pump and all these guys, you know, like they're cute, you know what I mean? But this guy's like heavy, and this guy's like a, you know,
and he's not just rapping like rap, like he's yell rapping. He's going hard on the mic, you know what I mean? Like it's fight music. It's fight music. He's not rapping like Drake. He's not rapping like
no.
He's you know, Meek was the first one who was doing the yelling on the mic type of shit.
Actually, then Ace Hood boys, maybe
Ace Hood, you know what I mean? Like all these guys, but he's the
He reminds me so much of Waka, the videos that he does, because he used to do that a lot, like in Atlanta, like his hood and whatever. But
he's the new generation. He's the guy for that. But you know, you see all these littles that are either
littles.
You see all these littles now that are either getting arrested, you know, unfortunately passing away. You know, it's like there's an inevitability to these guys. So I don't.
And dude, that was his name, Lil Xan, the one that died.
Little Peep.
Lil Peep. I had never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
When he
got
died,
mad love when he died.
He was like,
but when he died, everybody was like, "Yo,"
showing him mad love, and I'm like, "Who's that little white boy?" I don't know.
I was on stage with him, in Brooklyn for the ASAP Ferg,
and he was getting love.
I was filming him. Yeah. He was doing
he's gone pop
sound check. I was on stage with him and his DJ. I filmed him, and then next month he's gone. So it's like. That's fucked up. That's fucked up for that to happen that fast and so young and up and coming. So it's like, fuck, something's wrong. Something's wrong with these guys. Not even to last past 20 something. Like shit.
It's the drugs.
Yeah,
the drugs.
It's
the constant drugs.
Yeah,
that's the thing. When you have money and access, when you have money and access, it brings excess.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
but fuck all that.
Yeah, all the lils.
Talking about big instead of lils. What's next for you guys? What's you guys mentioned like Igloo Fest opening for so many celebrities.
More specifically, your Puma deal.
Yeah, I mean,
you guys have Noiize. What's next?
Yeah, well, I mean, summer's coming and it's bangers back to back to back. So she knows best. Like the festivals are coming up. We're gonna stay in contact. It's all about your connects too. So you know, celebrities, DJs that are in town, we always try and like host them, meet them, and perform or whatever. As for us, we're definitely gonna take our collective to the next level, especially with production and her other artist Marie-Ave, who we're gonna push her to get her singles out as well. So as a group, that's how we're going to come up. And we were talking about this the other day, is that Canadians run differently than Americans. Like we're fucking loyal to our crew. And that's why EXO and OVO have come up all together and everyone's fed and everyone's paid. But in the US, she was talking about like, they're not loyal. They're loyal to the money. So it's like, if you're not making their bank, like they're gonna move on to the next guy. They don't give a shit. So that's why their crews always break up in this fight, and then everyone's suing everyone. Whereas here we don't have that mentality.
Keeping you on that point. How do you ever have to deal with like local artists, like their music, playing their music? Is that something that you do or want to do or choose not to do?
I literally put on every local artist. No. Okay. This is a subject I've gotten a bit angry about, but it's only because I've literally put on every local artist I can through growing up. Even before Carla, local artists were hitting me up, all kinds, put me on this, put me on that, and I put them on. I have a mix, all Canadian mix.
Yes,
I made sure every local artist was on there from Toronto, from here. I made sure their track was right after a Drake track, so make sure the hype was there. And I showed them all kinds of love, but I realized if you don't get the same love back, I get the message. Like, I know who you are. You know what I mean? Like, if I don't get that same love back and I put in effort and I put in
What do you
work,
mean by that?
Like, I'll put them on a mix and I'll, like, I just, like, all I want you to do is share it, do something, listen.
Okay.
No love, not a word, no thank you, no nothing. And the ones who do come out and be like, yo, thank you for putting me on. I'm going to post it. I'm going to do this. Like, I realized after, those are the people I'm gonna fuck with.
Toronto shared her shit.
Toronto guys,
you understand what I mean? Like this is.
That's what it is.
Jimmy from the Six. You know
I reposted your.
That's what it is. I mean, in Toronto, nobody. I don't want to say nobody knows you, but people don't know you. While in Montreal, oh yeah, it's that pretty chick that every club owner books.
Yeah,
so
it's like too familiar. So I'm like, yo, I put you on. Like, don't ever say I never put you on. And then you don't show no love back. All right, cool. So my next move, you're not going to be on my fucking list. Like, that's what's up.
No, but it's, like we try to, to help out the much as we can. You know what I mean? And like the people that we fuck with heavy. You know what I mean? I've been fucking with them for 15 years plus, but if you're not, whatever project we're doing, if you're not supporting us and in any type of way, you're showing no love, we don't need to. You know what I mean? We don't need to, because we know where we're going. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see you eventually and you're going to be like, hey, those are the chicks I knew from Montreal. Yeah, bitch. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? When we told you, you didn't, and she's always like, literally, like, whoever rappers call us or, like, I speak to a lot of managers from here, and try to help as much as I can, even guiding or branding or whatever. But it's like, if you take the info and you don't do nothing with it, like, it's out of my reach, and at the end of the day, like, we're like I always say, and I put it on my Instagram today, I'm not waiting for nobody to put us on. We're gonna put ourselves on.
That's the way to go.
It's just like I said, Montreal is I'm gonna be very, very nice with the way I'm gonna put it, but it's like you can't expect people to put you on when they're not on themselves. Let's put it that way. You know what I mean? Like, it's, they're trying to do it themselves, so obviously, like, if you're becoming a problem, they're gonna be like, okay, you're in my way, boo. Like, but it's not like Toronto, everybody like helps each other. You know what I mean? Like, try to, like, if we're winning, we're all winning together. Montreal's not like that. Montreal's like,
it comes back to what you said earlier. You rarely see someone from here like consistently do what he does. They'll do it for a couple of years and then they'll go back into a drought and then come back up. Yeah. Somebody that's constant, you don't see a lot of that.
It's you gotta work on it every single day.
And plus, the local don't really, like, even the scene doesn't show you, like, Montreal doesn't, like, look at Keitra, like, why was he never invited to Tout le monde en parle, or you know what I mean, like, why, you know what I mean, you needed him to blow out, like, somewhere else and that's what's gonna happen. Like, look at Kim Gingras yesterday, she was on Tout le monde en parle too, like, she oh, you were on Beyonce's video? Yeah, she's been doing that. You know what I mean? Like, like, it's just like, it's, why aren't you,
they're
like,
late?
Yeah, but it's
Montreal,
like, oh, we're
that's
gonna wait until
is.
Other people embrace them, but like, all right, cool, but
you shouldn't. You're the little person here. Like, Quebec, we're small in the hip hop world. You shouldn't wait for other people to embrace them. You should embrace them
in
first.
The world, period.
I guess,
because K-Tronada is bigger than any Quebec 100%. Star here.
We have so much talent here, man. And when we go to the States, like, I talk so highly of Montreal, and I'm like, man, like, you guys don't know the type of production that we have here, the Lunis and all
quality,
like, we have, like, some heavy dudes, man. But, it's just like the crossing and sometimes some people don't have the push in the back or the machine to get them to the next level, and they're gonna be the most excellent people in their basement. It's never gonna come out. It's like Celine, if she was never discovered in that little village where she
Celine's
was
worth $800 million.
But I mean,
God damn,
$800 motherfucking million.
You get what I'm saying?
Lashna, stand up. That's where she's from.
Charlemagne.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
I was like, no, she's not.
You're right.
I was like, am I crazy? But yeah, if nobody like actually takes you in, like at the end of the day, she's a product. Yeah. That's how people have to. She's our product, and my job is to sell this product. No, by any means necessary. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to. And I tell her like every time you got to be on top of your game. You got to be on top because I'll put you on a higher level, So she always has to like. You know what I mean? Because if you're like always stagnating, forget it. Like she's just gonna be a local DJ, and that's nothing wrong with it. But that's not what we're aspiring.
I mean, if that's what you aspire to be, fine. But
100%. Like we respect everybody's hustle, but that we have bigger plans for her, and it's just like you got to treat it like it is, and it's just.
Well, you heard it, lifers. Don't wait for anyone to put you on. Put yourself on. And that's what we tried to do with this podcast. That's what you guys are doing with your movement, with Noiize and everything else that you got going. Yeah. I mean, hey, I hope to see you guys in the future doing even bigger things. I mean, I've seen you guys.
I just want my goddamn media pass. That's all I want.
you and 100 other people hitting her up the day of, yo.
Yeah, we're gonna roll in there cool. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine and shit.
She's gonna have yellow hair.
I actually feel bad for her sometimes. Her phone just lights on fire, blows up the day.
I actually never asked.
Good.
I've never asked.
Should I
she will
check in my
check. I don't think I've ever asked. No, maybe
Freddie,
maybe
2012.
Once. Maybe once.
Well, yeah, lifers, this is the end of the episode 71. As usual, you could find the episodes on TuneIn, on SoundCloud, on Google Play, YouTube, and everywhere else. Give the people your handles before we go.
Yeah, soundcloud.com/Fafa Khan, mixcloud.com/Fafa Khan, @Fafa Khan on Instagram. It's literally all Fafa Khan. I made sure I got all my shit. FAFAKHAN.
All right, and you, Carla?
Kazzi?
It's MS Kazzi at Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
MS Kazzi on Instagram. So you know our usual handles. I don't feel like saying it today. So check our user. No,
a little bit of attitude.
But check the FML podcast page, obviously on Instagram, obviously like I just said on YouTube and everywhere else. And this is the end of the episode. See y'all next week.
Shortest end you've ever done in 71 episodes.
That's great.
Amen.
Great.
Thank you for having us.
See y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.